I keep replaying what my father said that night, and I don't think he even realizes what he admitted. Or maybe he does. I don't know anymore. I'm Mara Ellison. I just turned 18 a few weeks ago. It was recent. Everything kind of blurred together after that night. I don't even know why I'm saying this here. Maybe I just need to put it somewhere before I start changing the story in my own head. Because I keep doing that, rewriting it, making them softer, making me less harsh. But that's not what it felt like. The night of my birthday, my dad pulled me aside in the hallway. Not even somewhere private, just near the coat rack where the light flickers if you flip the switch too fast. He leaned in close and said, "After the party, you're going to sign some papers for Uncle Ray. It's just paperwork." Just paperwork. I nodded. I smiled. I always smile first. I don't know why. Then I went into the kitchen, opened my laptop, and transferred everything, every account my grandparents left me, into the trust their lawyer had prepared. I remember my hands shaking, but not like panic, more like I was cold, even though it wasn't cold. I kept thinking, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe they weren't actually going to do anything. But I still did it. The next morning, everything changed. My father didn't yell. That's the thing. He never yells. He just stood in the doorway holding his phone, staring at me like I'd spoken in a language he didn't understand. "Mara, what did you do?" And I almost said sorry. That's the worst part. I almost apologized. I think this really started when I was 12. Or earlier. No, that's not true. It started earlier. I just didn't notice. But 12 is when it became something. My grandfather used to take me out to a lake house in a place called Cedar Hollow. Not a big place. The porch leaned slightly to the left, and one of the kitchen drawers always stuck unless you hit it twice. He said that's how you asked it nicely. Weird detail, I know, but I still remember it. We fixed things together. Small things. Fence posts, window latches, the loose step that always creaked louder at night. He used to say, "If it gives under pressure, it's already broken." I thought he meant wood. I don't think he meant wood. Back home, things were fine. That's the word my mom always used. Fine. She had this habit, this weird, specific thing, where if a conversation got uncomfortable, she'd straighten objects. Like, she'd adjust a picture frame by a millimeter, or line up the salt and pepper shakers until they matched perfectly. She did it at dinner once when I mentioned the lake house. Didn't say anything, just fixed the napkin holder. That's how she avoided things. My dad talked about selling the cabin like it was obvious. "Property taxes alone don't make sense," he said once, cutting his steak like it owed him money. I remember that. The way he cut it too hard. I said, "Grandpa wanted it to stay in the family." He laughed. Not loudly, just quick, dismissive. "You were a kid, Mara." And maybe I was. Maybe I didn't understand. I keep wondering if I still don't. When my grandfather died, I was 14. At the funeral, my dad and Uncle Ray stood off to the side talking. Not crying, just talking. I heard one sentence. "We should move fast before this gets complicated." I didn't understand it then. I do now, I think. By 16, my grandmother got sick. Fast. Too fast. The last time I saw her, she grabbed my wrist, not gently, not weak, and said, "It's yours. Don't let them take it." I promised. I didn't even know what I was promising. Between 16 and 18, I kept going to the cabin, fixing things, cleaning, learning things no one asked me to learn. At home, the tone shifted. It stopped being Grandpa's place. It became the family property. And that word, family, started feeling conditional. 3 months before my birthday, I found a business card hidden behind old quilts. A lawyer. She called me before I called her. That part still feels strange, like she was waiting. She told me everything, about the trust, about the assets, about how it had all been transferred years ago, legally untouchable, unless someone tried something before I turned 18. And they were trying. I heard my dad and Uncle Ray in the garage one night. They thought I couldn't hear. They always think that. "We file the deed, sell fast, and it's done," Ray said. "What about Mara?" my dad asked. "She'll get over it." I stood there holding a glass of water that I never drank, and I remember thinking, maybe they're right. Maybe I would have gotten over it. That's the part I hate admitting. The week before my birthday, my mom sat next to me and said, "We need to make a decision together." Together. She adjusted the edge of the couch cushion while she said it. Didn't look at me. Uncle Ray offered me $50,000. He smiled when he said it, like he was being generous. Most kids your age would jump at that. Maybe I should have. I keep thinking that too. The night I turned 18, I signed everything, at midnight, on a video call with the lawyer. My hands were shaking again, same cold feeling, same thought. Maybe I'm making this worse than it is. But I signed anyway. The next morning, they went to file their paperwork. It failed. Of course it did. The property wasn't theirs. It never had been. My dad called me after. "What did you do?" Same question, different tone, like something had cracked. I said, "I accepted what they left me." He said, "We'll fight this." I said, "You can try." And even as I said it, part of me felt like I was betraying him. Is that stupid? Maybe it is. Everything fell apart after that. Legal threats, financial problems. My uncle got into serious trouble, worse than I expected. I didn't feel good about it. I thought I would. I didn't. A few weeks later, I went back to the cabin. It smelled the same, that weird mix of pine and something sweet I still can't name. I found a letter my grandfather left me. He wrote that he didn't choose me because I deserved it more. He chose me because I noticed things, because I cared about the place before I cared about what it was worth. I live there now. Not full time. I mean, I go back and forth. Or, I used to. My sister visits sometimes. We don't talk about what happened. My parents, we talk less. Not never, just less. I keep thinking about that night, the hallway, the flickering light. Just paperwork. I don't think it was ever just paperwork. And I don't think this is really over. They still call sometimes. I just don't always answer. I don't really know why.